Buck and Phil. Guys, whenever I say those words or I hear them, whoever is saying or receiving them smiles from ear to ear. And so, guys, I'm going to ask you, over these many years that you guys have covered this team, what are some of your most fondest memories, seeing as we're celebrating 25 years of Wizards basketball?
I used to tell people that I would spend more time with Phil during the course of a year than I did my spouse. And, that's just the way this business is. And we also said, look, if you don't genuinely like your partner, not only are you not going to make it, but it's going to show on the air. So, listen, this guy was my guy when I was in college, and because he's a little older than me, not a lot, but he was my guy in college, And when we would watch Bullets games, we would watch Phil Chenier and hit that sweet jump shot. And you haven't changed a whole lot. Look at
He's kind of become my mentor, not just in TV, but how to get to restaurants and, how to catch a cab, how to get thrown out of cabs. All of these things bring back great memories. But, sometimes I watch the games on TV, watch Chris and Drew or Glenn and I think about the cities that they're in. If it's Portland or if it's San Francisco, think about the hotels that we used to stay in. And again, some of the good times that we had. And that's not even to mention the basketball that we got to see.
We tend to think more about the things that happen in the different cities than the actual playing of the games. Now, look, that doesn't mean we didn't see some unbelievable games. Michael Jordan, when he was here, was amazing. The big three, Karan and Antoine and Gilbert. John Wall and Bradley Beal, and we had some really good years, and we had some difficult years too. So they were all fun. I mean, obviously, Gilbert Arenas' shot in Chicago in that playoff game was unbelievable. But we just had so many experiences around this country, in hotels, in restaurants, in cabs, that we just are ingrained in our memory, and they bring back a lot of great times.
Well, I got to ask Phil this question about you, Buck. Buck's had so many great calls. Phil, I got to ask you, there's been so many great moments where Buck just nailed it. Tell me, because I just remember the Michael Ruffin, John Wall's shot. Tell me which one do you think was your favorite of all those?
Well, the most entertaining one was the Michael Ruffin. It's not possible.
It was possible.
I still don't think it's possible to this day. I really don't. I don't know how they did it. I think there was like 4 seconds on the clock when Arenas made the foul shot. I don't know how it happened.
But he's had so many great calls. Obviously, the call with Gilbert making the shot, the 60-point game that he had. And, you can feel Buck's energy as the game gets more and more exciting. And, of course, that 60-point game was one of your better ones, too.
That was something because Kobe had 45 in that game. But Gilbert was unbelievable, especially in the overtime. So,
I just saw a tape of Kobe, and he mentioned that 60-point game. He talked about some of the other players. He said, but Arenas came in and gave me 60.
You know what happened after that game? I got the box score, and then I went into the locker room and had Gilbert sign it.
Was that right?
And then I still have my press pass from that game. So little mementos like that.
Still got it?
I still have it. Absolutely. It's good stuff. A lot of great calls, guys. It's just a lot of fun.
Well, that's looking back. Well, let's look a little bit closer to today. A guy that you guys were able to see when you were calling the games, Bradley Beal. He comes back this year, decides to re-sign with Washington. What does it mean to you guys to see him say that being a part of DC is important and an essential element for his legacy?
Well, first of all, I think it's so important to have some type of consistency, continuity, and with Bradley being here and sustaining that career, obviously when he's said and done, he's going to be leading his categories in a lot of different categories. But for me personally, I think about the day he told me that my number was going up. That was a very special day to me, and he was a part of that. But just at times watching he and John, because they were such a tremendous tandem, and to see Bradley develop and grow into the veteran that he is. We see his parents and his brothers all around, but really proud of what he's done and happy to see him stay here.
Yeah, he's a real genuine guy. Obviously, his upbringing, he was brought up the right way. He's a mentor, he's a role model. And sometimes I'm disturbed by some of the critics, that say he doesn't come through in the clutch or whatever. I watch this guy every night just like you guys do. This man to me is a bona fide all-star. I mean, when he's on his game, first of all, you can't stop him. And I just think he's a really good player. He's going to have some down games like every other player has. I just think he's a really good player. But this guy was a really good player. We used to talk about it. Glenn, I know that, you've seen his jump shot when he was healthy, and it was sweet. And a big day for me was when we raised his numbers to the rafters, number 45, that went up there to join Wes Unseld and Gus Johnson and Elvin Hayes and Earl Monroe. Rightly so. Took a while, took too many years, but it's up in its rightful place now. And I was proud to share in that moment when we did that.
Buck, you mentioned Phil's jump shot, and we were talking about Bradley Beal. Man, I really don't know who had the sweeter or prettiest, aesthetically beautiful jump shot. Buck, what do you think, Phil or Bradley Beal?
That's a good question. Bradley's is just about perfect. The rotation on the ball is unbelievable. I would go with Phil, though, because when he shot, the ball came from here. His shoulders were perfectly square to the basket. His elbow was underneath, and he went straight up into the air. Now, he's curling up a little bit now, so he can't, elevate like he used to. He's actually shrunk. He used to be 6'3". He's only about 6 feet now.
He could have left that out. He could have left that out. He didn't.
See, but that's what I love about Buck and Phil. You don't leave it out. These great stories and memories are what it's all about. Gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with us. And here's to some many more years of celebrating with you guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Good
a lot,
to see you guys.